In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to use automations to standardize your process in ClickUp. We're going to start right from the beginning so you can follow along step by step. First, open your browser and go to ClickUp's website. Once you're there, choose to sign in and use the Continue with Google option. If you're already signed into your Google account in your browser, ClickUp will pick that up. If not, it will prompt you to choose your account. Go ahead and select your Google account to move forward. If your organization requires additional permissions, you may see a quick confirmation screen. Just accept those prompts to proceed. When you land in ClickUp, head into your workspace and open your team space. This is the area where your projects, lists, and tasks live, and it's the best place to centralize your standards and processes. Inside your team space, open the project you want to automate. I'll open a sample project to demonstrate. The exact name of your project may differ, but the steps are the same. With your project open, look for the Automations option in the top menu or the project toolbar. Click to open automations. This is where the magic happens. If you haven't created any automations yet, this page will be blank or show a few suggestions. Either way, click Create Automation to begin building your first workflow rule. Every automation in ClickUp is built from three parts: a trigger, optional conditions like sources, and an action. Let's set the trigger first. Click into the trigger field and choose Task or Subtask Created. This means that whenever a new task or subtask is added to this project, the automation will run. This is a great way to standardize what happens right at the moment work enters your system. Next, open the Sources area. Sources let you refine when the trigger should apply, such as tasks created manually, via form, or from integrations. If you want this to run on every new task regardless of origin, you can leave this broad. If you only want it to fire on certain sources, choose those here. Keeping your sources intentional helps reduce noise and ensures automations do exactly what you expect. Now let's define the action. Click into the action field and choose to set the task status. Then select the status you want the task to move to automatically. I'll choose In Progress. This is a simple but powerful standardization. Anytime someone creates a task or subtask in this project, it will immediately move from To Do to In Progress, signaling that it's entered an active workflow. This reduces manual clicks, keeps boards clean, and ensures consistent task handling from the start. Once your trigger and action look good, click Create to save the automation. You'll see a confirmation and a visual indication that your rule is active. If you notice a highlight or banner on the automation screen, that's just ClickUp confirming what's been set. It's a good idea to quickly review what you created to be sure the trigger and action match your intent. Let's test it. Go back to your project view and add a new task. You can create it under the TO Do status to simulate a standard intake. Give it a quick name, save it, and then watch what happens. Within a moment, the automation should move the task to In Progress automatically. Depending on your workspace load and connectivity, there may be a brief delay, so give it a second if you don't see it instantly. This real-time confirmation proves the automation is working and ensures your team doesn't have to manually shuffle tasks at creation. Now, head back to the Automations panel. You might already have other automations in place, such as an example or template rule. If you see one and want to try it, toggle it on to enable it. For demonstration, I'll turn on a pre-built sample automation so you can see how multiple rules can coordinate. Toggling lets you enable or disable rules quickly without deleting them, which is handy for testing. Return to your project and add another task so we can watch the combined effect. Create the task in To Do again. As before, the new task will appear in the initial column. Wait a moment as the automation fires. You should see the task move to In Progress automatically. If your example automation also advances tasks based on an internal rule, like a status change, an assignee being added, or a checklist reaching completion, you may see it move again without further input. In this example flow, after a short delay, the task progresses from In Progress to Complete. This shows how you can chain or layer automations to walk tasks through your standard lifecycle without manual intervention. Keep an eye on the status changes. It may take a few seconds for each transition to register, especially if your workspace handles a lot of activity. That slight pause is normal. What matters is that your rule consistently enforces your process every time a task is created. To wrap the demonstration, click into the task and confirm it's now in the complete status. That verification step helps you ensure the end state is correct and that your team will see the expected result. If something doesn't match your process, head back to the automation screen and refine the trigger, the sources, or the action until you get it just right. A few tips as you put this into practice. First, keep your automations simple and purposeful. A clear trigger like task created paired with a single predictable action like setting a status is easy to understand and troubleshoot. Once that baseline is working, you can layer on additional rules over time. Second, name or describe your automations clearly, so teammates know what each one does. That helps avoid duplication and keeps your system tidy. Third, if you have multiple automations that could act on the same task, be mindful of the order of operations. ClickUp will run each rule according to its logic, so make sure they don't conflict or create loops. Testing is your friend. Create a sample task, watch the status changes, and confirm the behavior matches your standard operating procedure. If you restrict the sources for a rule, test each source you expect, such as manual creation, form submissions, or imported items, to ensure your coverage is complete. And remember, toggling automations on and off is a safe way to experiment without deleting your work. What we accomplished here is the foundation of a standardized process. Every new task enters the board in a consistent way, moves to an active status automatically, and, when additional criteria are met, can move forward to completion without manual clicks. This reduces friction, prevents work from stalling in to-do, and gives your team a reliable, visual workflow they can trust. That's the end-to-end flow. You navigated to your workspace, opened the right project, built a straightforward automation with a task-created trigger and a status change action, saved it, tested it by adding a task in to-do, confirmed it moved to in progress, and then enabled a sample rule to demonstrate how tasks can progress further to complete. With this approach, you'll save time, cut down on errors, and create a process your whole team can follow consistently.